All right, it is 5:04, so we were scheduled to start at 5 o'clock, so I would like to get this meeting started. As a preliminary matter, this is the Newbury Conservation Commission, and I am Doug Packer, the chair. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Ben Gahagan.
Yes.
Bill Lord.
Yes.
Brian Colleran.
See.
Dan Streeter.
Yes.
Kevin Stromsky.
Yes.
And Peter Pecos.
Yes.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Gretchen Girard.
She is here. I can speak for her because she's in the middle of dialing in via phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Bill Holt.
Yes, I'm here.
Good evening. This June 2nd, 2020 meeting of the Newbury Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Conservation Commission is convening by telephone conference and video conference via Zoom. As posted on the agenda of the Commission section of the town's website, identifying how the public may join. You may join us by going to http://zoom.us. And again, that is http://zoom, ZOOM.us. And entering meeting ID number 817-6269-2043. Again, that is 817-6269-2043. Or by calling 1-929-205-6099. And one more time, the phone number is 1-929-205-6099. Please note that the meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video and/or telephone conference. There were some meeting materials, I believe, given out. One of them was the ACEC policy. Did the members receive the ACEC policy? Ben Gahagan, do you have it?
Yeah, it was attached to the part of the agenda.
Okay, so Bill Lord?
Yes.
Brian Colleran?
Yeah.
Dan Streeter?
Yes.
Kevin Stromsky?
Yes.
And Peter Pecos. Applicants or their representatives may be called upon to speak and, if needed, share information to the screen. Please state intention after you have been called. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for the effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they've concluded their remarks, the chair will go down the list of members, invited each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone. *6 to toggle mute, unmuted, or computer mute button when you are not speaking. Please use earbuds or earphones with tablets and cell phones. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. Please be aware that video participants can see you and that you should take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Board committee members should be called upon in first name alphabetical order to ease the process. If the board or committee members wish to engage colloquially with the other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After board and committee members have spoken, the chair will afford the public comment as follows. The chair will seek questions through the raised hand function. For video conference participants, this function can be accessed by clicking on the participants option listed in the menu below the photo gallery. Hover your cursor in this area if you don't see it. The window will open and display on the right. On the bottom of this participant area, you will see the list of phone video participants, and the bottom you will see the ability to click on a button to raise hand. Please ensure your name is displayed. You may rename by using the More function to your name. And list your name, address, and then your question. Telephone participants can use their phone's keypad while in a Zoom meeting to raise hand by hitting *9. The chair will then seek questions from the public that have hit the raised hand button in order of which they are listed. System lists in order by whom first hit the raised hand function. The participant will be called upon to identify their name, address, and then their question. The chair will afford the applicant or their representative the opportunity to reply. Your hand will be lowered when you have been given the floor for your question. The board will continue down the list of those in the raised hand column and again afford the applicant or representative an opportunity to speak. Should there be a physical or electronic submittal of questions or concerns, they will be read for the record, and again, the applicant representative will be afforded the opportunity to speak if the issues raised have not yet been addressed. Finally, each vote in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Additional agenda items will be called upon and handled in the same manner. Are there any questions or comments from the board members? At this time, then, I would like to go to the first item on our agenda, and that is to introduce our new conservation agent. His name is Bill Holt. He comes from a long career in the private sector with design and execution of septic systems and surveying in the field. He has worked for many years for the city of Wilmington in all of their departments, doing plan reading. And now I would like to turn it over to Bill Holt for a minute for a few words to the commission.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Honored that I was chosen as the conservation agent. Look forward to working with Doug for the next month as he transitions, as I transition into his position. I've already gone out with him a couple of times and I've already learned a few things from him. And I hope to continue to be able to improve my skills throughout my stay with the town. As Doug said, I've been 20 years in the field, designing both residential and commercial projects, straight from the survey down to construction. So I've gone through the whole process of permitting through town, state, and federal governments, and right down to the finish with staking it out and doing the as-built and certifications that they've been completed. In the public sector, I worked 12 years with Town of Wilmington as a town engineer, and worked on many municipal projects for the same process to design and getting it constructed. Also did a lot of review plans of all kinds of projects that are commercial and residential, as well as municipal projects. Pretty familiar with stormwater management, design, floodplain regulations, Flood Protection Act, EPA. So I've done a lot of different parts of this particular position. So I'm hoping to bring that to the town of Newbury and apply it as best I can. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Bill, and welcome.
Thank you.
Do any of the members have any questions or comments for Bill?
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Anything else? Seeing or hearing none, I will go on to the second agenda item, and that is the reorganization of the Conservation Board. So we have the agent position is filled, and I Now you're going to have to decide on a chair, bring a chair up for the next meeting. Is there anyone over the last few days or the last week that has a desire to have the chair?
No.
Okay. Someone's got to jump. Someone's got to go. And it may be that for a while you decide to share the chair. And again, I want to reiterate that the chair is not the position that you're used to seeing, because you're used to seeing a chair agent combination that does much more than the chair would do. The chair will simply read the agenda and keep order in the meeting, call on people, you know, the simple parts of the meeting. Bill will still be doing all the technical information. He'll still be doing all your reviews. So it may be that you want to share it for a while if one person doesn't have the time to give to the chair.
I saw Brian with a thumbs up symbol.
That's what I saw too. Brian, was that a thumbs up?
I mean, you know, if it doesn't bother me, you know, the idea that doing it. So if it's easier that way, then we can start with me, and if I muck it up, we can make Ben do it.
That being said, I would be happy to make a motion to nominate Brian as the chair for the commission.
I'll be happy to second that motion.
All right, we'll go to roll call vote for all those in favor. Ben Gehagen,
Aye.
Bill Lord,
Aye.
Brian Colleran, Dan, excuse me, Brian, I'm sorry. How about if we skip you and go to Dan Streeter?
Yeah, I might have a conflict of interest there.
Dan?
That was affirmative.
Okay. Kevin Stromsky,
Aye.
Peter Pecos,
Yes.
Doug Packer, absolutely. The
So-
next item, go ahead.
Hold on, hold
would
on.
someone like to speak? Chair,
Yeah.
please.
Sorry, I've got crayons in my hands. I can't find my buttons. So Doug, that just means you and I, we should probably schedule a sit down so I can get my script right. You know, the making sure my Robert's rules and, you know, all that business.
Anytime you want.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll figure that out then.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's, we can do that. That's not a hard chore.
All right, cool. All right, let's
Thank you. Thank you for stepping up.
Sure thing.
Would anyone else like to speak at this moment?
I will say, Brian, I mean this in the best way possible. I do have a little bit of a hesitation that the meetings could run long, because you do talk a lot in the meetings, and I think it's a great thing. I've learned a lot from you, so I'm not saying it as a bad thing, but I do have a little concern. I just want to be cognizant of that our meetings don't run long, just for our time, and also, you know, all the constituents that are there, however you want to say it. You know, it's just a concern of mine. That's all.
That's okay. So then what I'll do to address that concern is we can give you a 10-foot long stick. If I'm taking too long.
Well, you know, each board member at the table has the same rights as any other members. So if things are dragging on, you can always help the chair out a little bit by making a gentle suggestion. And it's pretty easy to prod someone on. So
Yeah, and I'm easy to be prodded. So
Yeah.
You know, and point taken, you're right, because Ben and I can get chatty, and then we get distracted, and we take everything off the rails. So you know, I know where you're coming from. Don't worry about it.
I think Bill had a question he was raising.
I wanted to make sure we all got the 10-foot stick. I think we should all get one.
Fair enough.
It might be a virtual stick for a while, though.
Yeah, well, right.
You mean the mute button? Would anyone else like to speak?
Will Will Bill be able to vote?
Bill is not a voting member. He does not live in town, and he will not be a voting member. It is my understanding that the Board of Selectmen will add another member to this board that will be a voting member and that would take my place. Any other questions?
Can I just ask a question just about in general process? How long does it seem like we might be meeting in this way? And, you know, what can we do to make things move along here?
I don't really know. It's not our timeline. I know that we are going to I know the governor wants us to go into that next step. What is it? Step 4, I think. And shortly we'll be opening back up. I would imagine that for a while it'll be appointment only, but I don't really know how it's going to play out. That's more of a question for either the chief or Tracy, the chief of police.
But it could be several months.
Yes, I would agree that it could be several months.
And I suppose the other question related to that is, do we anticipate a June meeting on the normal date and time?
Yeah, we have our next regularly scheduled meeting, and Bill started to make contacts today and put the folders out and start cleaning them up. We'll be on the 16th. That would be our next regular date. So some of them, I believe, were already advertised, so they fell under the governor's stay order. The rest of them were notified and sent legal ads today, so they have to appear by next Tuesday. That's plenty of time. So we should have an agenda for the 16th. Anyone else? All right, then what I will do then is I will go to the next piece of business, which is a certificate of compliance for Kim Van Gerven of 29 and 30 Annapolis Way, DEP number 50-1207. Why it's 29 and 30 is that was one of the houses on Annapolis that was compromised. It was moved back across the street. In order to do that, the DEP had them put a deed restriction on the front lot so it can never get built on. They brought some sand in, some clean sand to and nourish that dune there. And that dune's accreting. The east wind's picking sand up and putting it up on the dune. The dune grass is building back in. And that's as simple a project as it was. It was a small amount of sand brought onto the lot. It was done in compliance, and it would be my recommendation to grant the certificate. Do I have go ahead. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Ben Gahagan,
Aye.
Bill Lord,
Aye.
Brian Colleran,
Aye.
Dan Streeter,
Aye.
Kevin Stromsky.
I think he's muted.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
It's strange because I mute myself, but then it says the host muted me. I was muting, it got loud at my house, but anyway, sorry.
Okay, no problem, Kevin. And Peter Pecos.
Yes.
And Doug Packer, yes. The last item on the agenda tonight was an ACEC policy review. This was Ben's that he brought forward. I know that through some conversation with him that he may want to table this. So what I would like to do is go to Ben now and see what his thoughts are on the proposed ACEC policy.
Thanks, Doug. Guys, my only reason for potentially tabling this is that I unfortunately have to be off the Zoom meeting in 5 minutes. If the rest of the commission, we have a quorum, if the rest of the commission wants to move forward, they can. I just won't be able to participate for more than 5 minutes. And since I wrote it, I didn't know how you guys felt about that.
I'm okay.
You're okay with continuing it? Is that your suggestion?
I mean, in my case, I read up on this, when Ben said it the first time, and as long it didn't look like he changed anything, so and speaking, I don't need him.
Well, the only reason I brought it up is Ben had some comments this morning about that were forwarded to him that discuss some additional information to be placed in here. And if he wants to place that, maybe we should continue this to the meeting of the 16th. If he doesn't, and the board members want to address it right now tonight, that's fine.
Well, then in that case, Ben, what's new?
There were some concerns, and I think the gentleman is on the meeting. So if I misspeak, please correct me. But just some more details were asked for, or there was thought that it'd be better if we had some more details about the interface with Chapter 91 within the policy. And I think it could be as simple. I mean, again, the other thing forward is that this needs to go. I think we need to polish this a little bit more, and then it needs to go to town council before we can really do anything with it. Correct, Doug?
I would say so, yes. That would be my recommendation anyway.
So I think that it could be as simple as language, just saying that, in all other respects, we meet the minimum of state statutes and town statutes relative to the ACEC and rivers and wetlands, including Chapter 91. It could be a very simple one-sentence statement, and I think that would take care of it, as long as I'm sorry if I as somebody whose last name gets mangled consistently, Mr. Mangian, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I think that would take care of your concern.
You want me to unmute him?
Please.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right, thank you for that. Yeah, the Chapter 91 thing has always been a bit of a bugaboo environmental issue for me. And then since I had only today seen the document and started to read it, I found myself with some questions, which I tried to capture, and I'm glad it was sent on to you. And, just what the issue was about filling along the tidelands, or could it be things like Old Point Road getting filled to raise it up, depending on how you read what the document's all about. So I was also trying to get some background on, not only what it is, but why it is a document that's come to the consideration of the commission. And maybe we can flesh that out between now and then. And certainly if you have any questions about what I wrote, I'd be glad to try and amplify them. Thank you.
I think.
Ben, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think I was just curious. Steve works for the EPA. I see the hat, but is that a safe assumption, or is he a resident?
He's a retired EPA, so
Okay.
he's been around a lot of hazardous sites and things like that. He understands the law pretty well.
Sure.
He's no stranger to the commission, so we've seen him more than once. And Steve, your questions are good questions, and I really don't know, moving down the road, what's going to happen relative to your questions about roadways. This was more to address all the private piers that are popping up and showing up. And the way they're getting around the regulations is to do the self-check with the programmatic permit, which gives them that channel in, but it's sort of a dead channel. It never gets checked. So Ben raised the concern, being in the fisheries, he's very aware of all these issues, and raised this concern that we should at least take the laws that we know, put them together, have them in one place for the commission, have them in one place for the residents, so that they can understand why. As far as your question where the roadway goes, I don't know what'll happen with ocean rise and having, I think about the turnpike and things like that. Raising the turnpike might have other issues. Raising the turnpike might be the thing to do for the health of the Great Marsh. That's one thing I've heard, which surprised me. I always thought that the health of the Great Marsh would be to open that area up and let more water through, but the Merrimack River runs so much fresh water now It's not a good idea. So it may be that, yeah, you're in the ACEC and you may have an impact, but what's the reason and what's the intent that you're there for? Are you there to save properties? And is that the state's, is the state in agreement that that's what we're going to do? We're going to raise the road to save, to save properties. If you raise the road, does it have more benefits than detriments? So I think that those things we're going to be studying those things in the future, no doubt about it. And we're going to have to make some, go ahead.
Doug, I would just say simply that most of these larger municipal projects involve a much higher level of permitting that are outside of the commission anyways, and they're going to have to go through ACEC and a bunch of other permitting hurdles. And so really this is restricted to these small projects that were inside our jurisdiction only, and we're slipping through some loopholes in the regulatory mechanisms.
Good point.
Yeah, but I agree with everything you're saying, but I think it's just way outside. I get to say it to you before you leave. That's outside our jurisdiction.
It is.
It is. All right, I have to go now. You guys, if you want to vote on it, go ahead. Or I think we probably need to polish it up and make a few additions. But thank you all for your time and for giving it a read.
Thank you, Ben. Have a
All right,
good night. Thank you for joining.
Yep.
With that, it would be my recommendation to the commission that the individual that just brought the policy forward has admitted that it should have a little bit more polish to it, and it should go to town council for review before we vote on it. So it would be my recommendation to the commission that we table this until the June 16th meeting.
I
So
motion
moved.
to table it. Oh. Motion to table it till June 16th.
Second,
And I will go for a roll call vote for, well, Ben's gone. I will go to Bill Lord,
Yes.
Brian Colleran,
Sorry, I'm gonna say no just because I had a different idea, but we can get to that in a minute. I just missed my moment.
well, I can stop this roll call if you'd want
all
to
right.
put your thought out there first, because once we take the roll call, we're roll calling to table it. So
right.
if you have some comments, please make, go ahead and make them.
The rather than tabling it, could we say, vote to like have Ben bring it to town council so that at the next meeting we have something new to talk about that's been hashed out, so to speak?
Oh, I intend now to send this to town council tomorrow. So I think that we could send that right off to her and certainly have.
6 of one and half a dozen of another.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think she should see it and it should be ready for the 16th.
And
I would agree
that's
with
fine. In that case, then continue with the roll call. I'll change my vote. We'll make it a yes.
Okay. I will go to, who's next? Dan Streeter,
yes.
Kevin Stromsky,
Yes.
Peter Pecos,
Yes.
Doug Packer, yes. And with that concludes our agenda for tonight. If there are any comments or questions from the commission, I'll take them. Other than that, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second,
I move to close the meeting.
Second, I have a second, so roll call vote. Ben is gone. Bill Lord,
Yes.
Brian Colleran,
Yes.
Dan Streeter,
yes.
Kevin Stromsky,
Yes.
Peter Pecos,
Yes.
and I, Doug Packer, yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Take care.